Bruce sees all.
Hi everyone, Bruce Swartz here. Many people look at the moon and don't see anything. And I'm not talking about filming it with a telescope. I'm talking about when they look at the surface, they don't see anything. And it's actually very simple to understand. The problem is there's too many theories. Too many people saying this, too many people saying that. Yeah, I know. I'm not helping. I'm doing the same thing. Explosions on the moon, NASA says they're extremely rare to capture. Like I'm capturing myself. But they're not all explosions. See this Piper tunnel deliberately placed going all around these structures. The structures have the same reflectivity as the surface. These are the bases. But I can't specify enough that they're structures. And that's the big secret. That literally is the only, well, maybe not the only big secret, but that's the secret of why the surface is hiding. Why people can't see the surface. We're going to look at structuring today. I showed this a couple of days ago. You know, it's important for me to show these. It's important when I get more information or that I can explain it better to show it. See these big ramps on the edges or platforms that are around the dark structures? They blend in like snow, very white, reflective, near impossible to see. The Copernicus image that I showed you yesterday didn't mention anything about that line there, but it's there. You can see it very well, just at the bottom of Copernicus. A massive long line that goes across over top of some structures. But one of my biggest incredible findings are that there are lights underneath a mysterious, thick, dense smoke, haze, or cloud that is on the surface of the moon. This is inside Aristarchus crater. Now, I want to ask you, do you think that's the sun? Do you think the sun is causing those little lights to move around and to spark up, whether it be explosions, whether it be a war we're looking at? Take 2 seconds to look at it. I show this and we run off after 20, 30 seconds. It's lights inside of Aristarchus crater, the exposure taken down, not hard to understand, and you see all this movement. The reason why we see a Terminator line on the moon and that there's light on a bright surface that shouldn't be bright because it's not bright at all, and nor is it at its core. The light from the sun apparently is bouncing off of Earth and reflecting that light onto the moon. That's what they tell us. In the atmosphere, these are all little captures. They're big captures, but they're short captures. They go unnoticed. You show it, oh, well, Bruce saw something in the atmosphere explode and smoke came up to the surface, big whoop. Well, yeah, big whoop, for sure. Here's an object approaching another object that you can see it's illuminating and getting the whole bloody surface to illuminate at the same time. And you can see the other objects flying around this. It's just incredible. Check it out. An explosion of an object inside of the atmosphere of the moon, very close, pressed up to the surface. We see an illumination of an object reacting with chemicals in the atmosphere or with the oxygen in the atmosphere, or it's a deliberate something that they're doing. Maybe, just maybe, these lights have to do with hiding the surface. With everything going on the moon, they're going to need a bright, refractive surface, which is basically what we're seeing. Once in a while, often enough, we see this. Whatever it may be, there's some movement of some lights on the moon. And look what happens. It interacts with the surface. There are lights coming up off the surface. Looks like something was dropped on the moon, like some type of bomb was dropped. I mean, what do you want it to be? Let's look at that one more time. Look, guys, for me to be seeing them in groups like this often enough, it's because, this is an event that I just captured as I was filming, slowing it down because it's happening a lot faster than that, of course. Explosion on the bottom, and then, what do you want it to be? How about this one? I showed it really close up. Someone wants to see it further away, and you're going to enjoy seeing this further away. That's something going down to the surface of the moon in the atmosphere. It's on fire. Hard to believe, I know. There's an object inside of this smoke here. It's at least 6 miles long, approximately about 1 mile wide, and we can see the object causing smoke or interacting or on fire in the atmosphere, and it's pressed up near a crater. UFO on the right, look in the center. Whoa. What do you think of that? So it's confirmed that it's not fire I'm filming in the sky between Earth and the moon. I'm on the surface. When I say on the surface, is I'm pressed up as close as I can to look at those lights illuminating, and that stationary UFO let off something. There's something that came out of it or something beside it that was actually reacting. It's always been very strange for me showing these incredible objects where some of these objects were shown many years ago and the videos got millions of views, a lot of hype. Some even made it to mainstream media. That's right. Do you remember that? Mainstream media actually showing some certain YouTubers' channels. Why? There's a bloody base here, a pipe or tunnel, electricity, something, transportation, trains. It's going in the ground right beside Copernicus crater. So remember all those bumps that I showed you on the last video, the NASA images? The bumps are under the haze that I just showed you with the arrow. As you look at this surface image, you can see that there are blurry patches everywhere right here, but underneath that there are hundreds, if not thousands, of objects that you can see under that. We look around the surface and people say, well, I don't see anything. What do you mean you don't see anything? You see everything I'm seeing, all the patches, and you're seeing the hundreds, if not thousands of structures. Some are even elongated. They're platforms. They're towering objects. Looks like a set of stairs right in the center on top there. And here you can see all those lines side by side, right? So real quick, that's what I showed the last video, are all those bumps. And people are wondering why we can see bumps and sometimes we can't see bumps. Notice this is along the Terminator line too. Southern Highlands, it's not hiding. It's facing Earth also. All the craters that we showed. So I just wanted to show that comparison. So basically, the rectangles and everything I'm seeing on the moon are these objects. This is right at the end of Clavius crater. I showed you the lines leaving Clavius crater also, going hundreds of kilometers. For what? To a power source? Like, why would ejecta run over structures in a straight line? Towering object in a circle you just saw there, 90-degree angle right at the end of the crater. No filtering. You have to look for the things, of course, get your magnifying lens up. It's not easy. You can see in every crater here, there are details that do not look normal. And I'm talking like hundreds of details and, showing us the truth. What do you think of this? What do you want me to say what it is? Watch it move. Those are all signs of movement under hazes, and it was very important for everyone to know that because it's true, and that's how everything is hiding. If people knew that right in front of their faces, there are UFOs whizzing around, it's just that they're going by fast and that they're very small to see. It's all about the size. It is all about the size. Somebody sees something very small and they go, it's tiny. Well, when actually it's ginormous for me to be able to see it. See here with the filter, green filter, quite simply. Actually, is it a filter? Yeah, green filter. And you can just see it very well moving there. We see another object illuminated also moving around. So this object burning, catching on fire here, you can see there. We can see other objects showing up. And I'll even show you one moving the other distance, the other way. Both of them opposing themselves. This is important to prove that it's not bullshit what I'm showing and that it's not pixelation, even though you'd never be able to prove that. It's not pixelation. Watch this object. We don't know what it is, but it's incredible. That's the incredible part, not knowing what these things are. Are they firing things on the surface? Is it people on the surface that are firing things? Okay, are you ready? Now look at the object that's going over towards the right. I'll get a circle up. It's going to be hard to see until I tell you. These two objects are traveling in different directions, live straight before you. So no, it's not my telescope screen. See, trolls want to bring that up, but in reality, they get caught because I have a good explanation of why this is really the surface. And it really is. One of my most incredible findings were these objects. Look at all the details connecting them to each other. they're built. What the hell are they? Are they prisons? Are they labs? And let me tell you, you'll probably fit about 275,000 army tanks in there. 200,000 jets. I mean, 150,000 vehicles. I mean, how many objects can you stick in there when it's several miles wide and many miles long? That's a couple miles long. Now we get into the serious stuff. The UFOs that are leaving the surface of the moon. They're disappearing as they take off. You see the massive fire, and then they become a cloud and then invisible. I'll show you the difference of the surface once the UFO lifts up and what happens to the surface once it leaves. I've examined this so thoroughly, and I'm telling you, this is really serious. You see that? Just disappeared. Where the hell do you think it is now? You'll never know because it's invisible. There's another one appearing on the bottom right in my footage. If that's not incredible, I don't know what it is. What is? And yeah, I don't know what it is, that's for sure. It can be many things. It doesn't really matter. There's somebody there, that's for sure. And if the government doesn't know who the hell that is or what these things are, watch that light there move in the center. Whoop. Why is there moving on the surface? They're driving around on the surface or flying around close to the surface, and they're hiding. Like anybody would, any being would wake up in the morning. Why would they wake up in a spaceship? It could be that they are actually on the ground of the moon, hiding on the surface. UFOs are lifting up off the surface. I capture them. See that one there? That's a smoke. Watch what's going to happen to that smoke. It's going to go towards the bottom and hide in the other smoke there. Absolutely horrifying. We'll never find them. They can be here in our own clouds, flying around in our clouds, and we'd never know it. Actually, some people have seen them in the clouds, as I. Massive power source, energy. Look at that. How wide do you think it is if I'm seeing it from Earth with a line of fire going down towards the surface? Then they disappear and they fly around at high speeds. It's whatever you've ever heard about UFOs in the science fiction movie, it's not half of what's going on the moon. Check out how close I am. Look, you see the object beside the fire itself. They both disappear at the same time, and they leave the surface, they go up into the air, and then they disappear. Fire goes down, they blend in with the surface, and they travel around. So all those billowing, bloody lights that we see on the surface of the moon, yeah, sunlight refraction, my ass. I'm very sorry. Look at this one. If this doesn't scare you, it scares the shit out of me, guys. I'm serious. The fact the government's not talking about this, there's a UFO right there in the darkness. What's it going to do? It's going to disappear. It appears, it disappears. Watch this one. On the surface, front and back. Whoop, it takes off, turns into a cloud. Just like the rest of the surface, blends in and bye-bye. You won't see it. They're roaming around the moon by the thousands, obviously, and this is how they're able to get around without us actually seeing them getting around. That's horrifying, because you don't know what the hell they're doing. And that's the horrifying thing. What are they doing? Get this. You'll see it right here. I caught a UFO on the surface up here, and it takes off and leaves smokes and hazes along with it as it leaves with its thrust. Literally clear proof that someone is on the moon. Here further out, here's a UFO fleet going by, and that's where they come out of the surface, actually, right there. We're not hiding at Mare Fecunditatis. Also very, very close to the supposed Apollo 11 landing site, which they've never showed the public. We got the confirmations from the astronauts about that. If you're just arriving to the channel, I thank you so much for having taken the time to give me a thumbs up, maybe share the videos, and to subscribe. So now all we have to do is wait for the truth to come out.
Yeah. Aliens are up there on the moon. They may be even coming right here soon. Aliens are landing on the moon. Yes, they are up there. Doesn't matter, cause disclosure's coming soon.